Hello everyone, this is the Prime Minister of the House uploading my refutal speech. Mr. Speaker, today most of the speakers tried to highlight about parental rights. Today they have said that parents have their own decision to decide what will they do about their children. But Mr. Speaker, if their right leads their own children into danger, then there is no other way than doctor intervening the situation. Mr. Speaker, if a child don't get vaccinated, then he can become an easy victim of different types of diseases, and also he can spread those diseases to other members of the society. So in this situation, Mr. Speaker, parents' right become invalid, and Mr. Speaker, the doctors have no other way than intervening the situation, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me come to another of the point, that is from religious perspective. Mr. Speaker, today they have tried to say that the superstition are coming from religious belief, and we cannot ignore the religious belief of the parents. But Mr. Speaker, I want to ask them a simple question. If the religions were so strict about vaccination, then most of the people wouldn't have let their child to get vaccinated. Mr. Speaker, in the present world, only a small amount of people don't let their child to get vaccinated, and they do it out of religious misconception and superstition. Mr. Speaker, today the whip has said a very interesting point about that. In Bible, it is forbidden for injecting a child, so vaccination should not be done. Mr. Speaker, I think this point of there is absolutely very silly, and that's why, Mr. Speaker, from religious perspective, I think, and in the present world, many important decisions are taken ignoring the religious misconceptions. So here, knowing all the risks of not vaccinating a child, if a doctor intervene the situation and take a decision, I don't think it would be so much harmful. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me come to another of their point. What did they say, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, today they have said about the research thing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today they said that if the doctors would be allowed to vaccinate a child without parental consent, then they can use it to inject the experimental vaccine into the body of the young children. But Mr. Speaker, all of the speaker used this point, but the most interesting part is that all of them failed to give a single example where a doctor used those experimental vaccines into a child body. Mr. Speaker, this is absolutely illogical and not possible. Why it is not possible, Mr. Speaker, I am saying? We know that no matter it is vaccine or medicine, when it is used in research purposes, the doctors use it and inject it on rats and other minor animals. They do not use it into the body of the people. On the other hand, all the vaccines before coming into the market are experimented or observed very perfectly by Food and Drug Association, and then they get the permission of selling these vaccines into the market. So there is no risk of selling bad vaccines into the market. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this point of there is also invalid, and this is also illogical, Mr. Speaker. Now, Mr. Speaker, come to another of their point, that is autism, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today most of them has tried to say that vaccination causes autism, but Mr. Speaker, this is a long-lasting misconception in the society, and this is a long-lasting myth in the society, Mr. Speaker, which do not have any logical and medical proof, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today they have given example of an actress who demanded that her child was affected by autism because of vaccination. Later, an investigation was done in this case, and no medical logical proof was found against it. Mr. Speaker, on the other hand, in the refutal speech, their deputy opposition leader herself has said that the doctors are getting bailed because there is no medical proof against the bad effects of misconception. Exactly, that's what we were trying to say in the whole debate. And Mr. Speaker, today what were the debate? Today, Mr. Speaker, the debate was about the maximum. Today the debate was about why we should vaccinate a person or a child without parental consent. Why it is very important. And Mr. Speaker, today me and my team has totally proved that why it is necessary even if the parents don't agree to vaccinate a child. On the other hand, Mr. Speaker, all of the speakers have said about the bad effects of vaccination, but they did not link it up with the parental consent. For this reason, Mr. Speaker, I believe that this proposal should be passed in the parliament. Till then, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you to all.